day, I don't know what. We started on the 8th, it's the 23rd, so 15, day 15. I'm gonna mix up my gym cocktail here, kind of show you guys what I'm doing. Pre-workout, the bulk from Transparent Labs. This bad boy's got, where's the caffeine intake? I think it's got 180 milligrams of caffeine. That's the main ingredient we want to know about. There's also 8 grams of citrulline malate, which is supposed to give you more of a pump. Does it work? I don't know, I think. Kind of hard to tell. The stimulant definitely works, though. And I find around 200 milligrams of caffeine is a sweet spot. I tried their more extreme version, the like black version, which had 275 milligrams of caffeine. For me, it's a little overkill, all right? I just want a little zip, a little pep, so that I can train and push myself a little bit harder. So we got that in here already, peach mango flavor. And now I'm going to do a scoop of the carb powder. What is this? Technically, it's cluster dextrin, 25 grams of cluster dextrin. So I'm going to chuck a scoop of that in. So those are really the main 2 ingredients. And lastly, we're going to do creatine, but you can take creatine anytime during the day. Take about 2 to 5 grams. They used to recommend 5. Now it's 2 to 5. This still says 5 or whatever, 5 grams of creatine. I do a little less. I used to take 5, and then I noticed that I kind of heard some grumblings, some rumblings, some dimbly dumblings straight out of Dublin that you could take a little bit less and your body would be fine. So I experimented. I dropped down 4 grams, 3 grams, still noticing all the benefits. Creatine, I just put it in my shake just for convenience. That way I always remember to take it. On the days that I don't go to the gym, which isn't very often, but I do have a rest day in my split right now, I just try to remember to take it at some point during the day. If you miss it, it's not the end of the world, but I'm pretty consistent. So what I do, shake it all up, and I drink it slowly throughout my workout, through the first half to 3/4 of the workout. And the reason I do this is that I find, for me personally, if I just take a scoop of this right at the beginning, I get like an immediate rush of energy, but then halfway through the workout I crash. And I've seen people saying that they take their pre-workout like 45 minutes before they go train. I mean, everybody's body's different, so maybe, but like for me, it hits right away, and like 45 minutes later, it's gone. I'm crashing. So I don't get it. But I don't consume any caffeine otherwise. I've never drank coffee, so I think I'm fairly sensitive. And the carb powder I find gives sustained energy, particularly the last half of the workout, replenishing your muscle glycogen cells with some carbohydrates. I find allows me to push more weight for more reps, have just a little extra boost. So I find these 2 things and the creatine, 3 total, are like tangible supplements that produce noticeable benefits that I can see in my training, and that they clearly improve my workouts. So I'm a big fan of supplements like that. The other one I got up here is this Vitality Testosterone Booster, which is interesting, and I did try it for a while. It was a bit hard to tell what was happening, and actually, because I was concerned about this, maybe my head's been cut off this whole time. I have no idea. I'll get down low here. I got my blood work done to see what my testosterone levels were at, and then I took this, and I was going to get it done again. I started to get nightmares, like crazy night terrors, where I was like waking up in the middle of the night. And I was like, oh, maybe it's something else. Maybe I'm just mentally insane. But I stopped taking this. They kind of went away. I went back on. They came back again. So I'm pretty sure this has something to do with it. And there's ashwagandha in it, which is going to help you sleep and do a bunch of other stuff. I think there's ashwagandha. I don't know. You could go to their website, check it out if you want. It might still work for you, but anyways, I just stopped taking it for that reason. But it still could be a beneficial product, and I'm looking for anything that could give me an edge. Side note also is that I was sponsored by this company for a little while, but I no longer am. There's no beef or no issue at all. I love their products. I'm still using them. But yeah, basically the relationship was just not, the communication and the way that the relationship wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And I don't think I was giving them the business that they had hoped also. So it's just a bit of a disconnect. And so we parted ways, which is unfortunate because I kind of wanted to just endorse like one supplement company. I don't really want to be jumping around. So I'm just going to stay clear of being endorsing or sponsoring. I'll still endorse these products. They're good products, but I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not receiving any money from them. I don't have a code anymore. Um, and then I think as my audience grows, I will kind of be able to garner or receive the type of sponsorship that I want. Which, you know, a lot of these companies, they're big companies and they have so many different athletes or people that they're working with, social media, fitness people, or those athletes, I guess, if you want to call yourself an athlete. Um, yeah, if you don't have like a massive audience, you're not bringing in tons of sales, you're not going to necessarily be a huge priority for them, which I understand. So I don't have any criticism for that, but just ultimately it wasn't what I was looking for. And a lot of it was just accountability on myself. And I'd rather just be free and clear than kind of have a relationship that isn't exactly what I want and then hold out for something in the future that is what I want. So I know as I grow my audience, um, I will be able to hopefully attract a sponsorship from a company that I really like their products and that we have kind of a mutual view of what the relationship should be. Anyways, that's all that. I'm getting ready to train, obviously. That's why I'm just going to take pre-workout and chug it and hang out in the living room for fun, dude. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, another pretty big aspect of my warm up. And if you're maybe curious, like, I'm going to hit arms, like, why the hell are you stretching your hips? I'll tell you something, that your body is connected. So if you have a muscle imbalance or a postural imbalance, let's say, in your shoulders are rounded forward. Likely that's not happening in isolation. And you've probably also got some kind of imbalance that is causing, or either related or connected to the shoulder issue. So for me, I have really tight pec minors, kind of slightly rounded forward shoulders, very tight lats. And a lot of those issues are stemming from imbalances in my hips and tightness in my lower back and then up into my lats and so forth. So simply put, or if you want to think about it in a simple way, is that the body isn't just like a car with like hard mechanical components, right? Well, maybe it is like a car because everything's kind of connected in the car too. That's a terrible analogy. Your body's not like a car. Well, actually, it is exactly like a car. Tune in next week for more fit tips with the guy here rolling. Um, Point being is that the body is very interconnected, and you should think of it as a chain. And so I've found that a lot of the tension in my upper body leading to imbalances and postural imbalances that then causes issues with my joints and my nerves, even I get that numbness up the left side of my face, um, stems or is connected to tension in my hips all the way down into my feet. My ankle, which I've talked about in other videos, is the main problem. It's extremely dysfunctional, and then it leads to asymmetric movement in my lower extremities, which then cause imbalance in the hips, into your spine, your lower back, the lats, whatever. So I have to release a lot of that tension in my hips, my glutes, the external rotators. So that's why I roll out. This left glute is hyper like tight and active because of the imbalance in my hips, and then that causes some tension in my lower back, my QL, the quadratus lumborum, and the latissimus dorsi gets a little tight. Yeah, so it's imperative that I do it this way, and I kind of established it over many years, where I just stopped working out, and then I would like try to do an exercise that wouldn't work, and then I'd try to stretch this, and then see if I could train, and then I'd do that mobility and that. Eventually, my mind just keeps analyzing all the things I'm doing slowly piece together. Well, you kept doing this, and that led to that, and I did this, and led to that, and then, you don't want to be in here. And eventually I figured out what I got to do. That's pretty crazy. Like I was having elbow issues at one point in time, and normally you'd think like, wow, my elbow's injured, so I should just rest the joint. But okay, for some reason, the memory card is full. Maybe that's a sign that I need to quit freaking yammering on. Get gabbing and just forget, man. Forget how fucking long I'm talking for. We're recording in 4K too, high definition, motherfucker. So I'm just gonna roll here for a little bit longer, loosen up this hip, and then we're gonna head on over to the gym, about a 10-minute walk, blasting the pipes today. I'm stuck at about 17.75 inches on the arms, and the change of adding a more fast, explosive tempo added that quarter inch, just boom, like in a couple of weeks. Previous year almost, for 6 months for sure, I was just stuck at 17 and a half, trying every different method. My point being is that now I'm thinking, like, what do I got to do next? There's got to be something. Like, what next? How do I need to make my training more intense, more extreme, put more of a demand on my body to add more muscle? And I've kind of just bought into, okay, well, I've seen the weight go up in my lifts for my arms and my legs too, using this progressive overload focus where we're using a faster tempo, explosive, trying to increase the weight consistently, and resting long periods in between the sets. And then just buying into, well, slowly, I'm adding muscle. Slowly, I'm going to be packing on as long as the weight's going up. And maybe I just need to be a little bit more patient. But on the flip side, what I've found in my training is that your body adapts to the stimulus you put on it quite quickly. So if you're doing a workout that is going to be muscle producing, so the stimulus is enough, the workout is such that it's going to lead to growth, so long as you eat some food and get a little sleep. If that's the case, and you've done a workout that's going to lead to that, I find it happens like pretty quick. Not like you're going to add 10 pounds of muscle in a month, but like if you've been training for a while and you're past the newbie gains, you've trained for a year or 2 years, you made all the newbie gains. Now it's like, are you going to do a workout that's going to lead to gains? If I do something, thinking back over the past several years, it like happens pretty quick, like in a month. Like for example, the quarter of an inch, which isn't massive, but like it happened in like, I swear, like a week or two. Like I switched to this training style and it was like immediately like boom, increase. And then I've kind of just like stayed at that. And some people are saying you got to keep changing, keep doing different things. So I've done so many different styles of training that like I know a lot of them just haven't worked, or like worked to a point and then just plateaued. So at this point, I'm like a little bit hesitant to just start experimenting with like rant and always switching the training, because I just like, and I'm kind of pretty confident on certain methods that have worked and certain that haven't, right? And, so anyways, this is what I'm thinking about with my training. This is what you should be thinking about too. It's like, what could I do differently? What's the next level? If you want to keep growing, if you want to keep seeing progress, for sure every month, every couple months, it's like, what next? How do I make it more intense? And with my workouts right now, I'm just not like, yeah, maybe I need to be patient, but I want the fucking gains, you know? I'm maxing the intensity. The weight is going up. I could add more sets, but I'm not sure. I went extreme volume for a while. I was doing those like 100-set arm workouts. That's a bit extreme. I only did like a handful of those, but I was doing like 50-set workouts fairly off, like a couple times a week for a period there. It worked. But then the issue is you can't keep scaling. That's the problem I ran into, right? It's like anything you're going to do, if you can scale it to make it more and more difficult, more and more challenging, whether it be the intensity, whether it be the volume, whether it be the weight, whether it be the frequency, how often you hit the muscle, the arms, the only muscle you train is your arms. Yeah. But then with volume, kind of like, what am I going to do? I'm going to do 200 sets. I'm going to do 300 sets. I'm going to be in the gym for 6 hours. And my central nervous system, I found, couldn't really recover. I was just so depleted. So you kind of run into a wall there. Same thing with frequency. I went to training arms every day. That was like a little too much. I find every other day is better. But weight, in theory, you can keep scaling the weight for like, I mean, there's always going to be more weight. So maybe that's what I need to buy into. But I'm always looking for an edge. I'm always looking for something else. All right, that's enough rambling. Because these videos are, yeah, once I get my new gym membership, it's probably just going to be like a 5 minute warm up. Well, I'll like film 5 minutes of it and just talk about something, and then maybe be 10 minutes of me training and talking about the training. So that's what you can expect. But we just got to get that sorted. Hopefully, this next clip that we cut to is going to be me in the gym doing a couple sets. See you on the other side, brothers and sisters. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Set 5. Be my last set with the 110. And last set I got 12 reps. I'm going to go for 12 again. Always try and go for the same number that I got on the previous set. Rest in like 6 minutes, so full recovery. Fast, explosive tempo, everything I got. Put my cues, shoulders down, elbows into the mirror, lock it in. Let's go. Oh, whew. A little gyration at the end. That's a good set. There's 5 sets of that. Go 100, 105, 110. I might go back down for the last set. Okay, this is set 6. I'm lower the weight by 5 pounds down to the 105. I'm gonna do a slower tempo so you guys can see the difference between a fast explosive tempo and a slow tempo. Fast explosive I found to be really effective in progressing the weight. The weights have gone up rapidly, but the slow controlled tempo is useful as well. So I'll do that now. And I got 12 with the 110. I'm gonna go for 10 reps with the 105. So slow tempo decreases your strength or your output by quite a bit. Let's go. Really focus on that stretch. Control it. A little faster. And then failed on the 11. I did get a bit of a fuller range of motion, a deeper stretch with a slower tempo. So that's a good set. So I did my other working sets with the 55 fast and explosive, which I forgot to film. So you're just gonna get the more slow and controlled. So I'm dropping the weight again from the 55s down to the 52 and a half. And I was getting 12, 13 reps with the 55s, the fast explosive tempo. So with a slow tempo, I'm gonna go for 10 good ones. And we'll go from the side so you can see the range of motion better. Ooh, that's a good set. And you can see the weight stays in constant motion, so I don't pause at the top, I don't pause at the bottom. I'm controlling the whole time, I'm pushing to literal failure. That's a good set. Okay. Fucking gorgeous out of you, mate. It's beautiful. That's a session. It was a good one. Definitely pretty pumped up. Got some nice golden hour lighting going on right here. The arms are feeling absolutely fried. After those last couple sets, I do my finisher, which is a series of drop sets for triceps, so I lower the weight quite a bit, and I do a super slow negative. So I lower the weight like 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I drop the weight 5 or 6 times with no rest. So 80 pounds to failure, and then drop to 65, 55, 45, 40, 35. And I do the same thing with biceps with standing curls. So I'll film that maybe my next workout. That's at least what I'm doing right now. Yeah, overall pretty good sesh. It's a little tricky filming in there because I don't think they really want me to be, so I'm kind of like just popping the camera out, record a quick clip. It's a little bit like hectic and kind of throws off the workout. So need to find somewhere where I can kind of reliably do it and like not be worried about bothering people or potentially breaking the rules. I guess I could go tarps off, but I'm still a little bit hefty. Weighed in at 201. This is what we're looking like. You know, I think I should get down to about 195. I think I'd feel good about my physique at 195. At 201, over 200. See if I crunch down. You know, I kind of want to get rid of that. I'm 6'1". I've never been a super heavy person, and I think if you hyper focus on body weight, it can be a little frustrating or deceiving because some people have longer torsos versus longer legs. So if you have long legs, which I have proportionally longer legs for my height, and that's by default, you're gonna probably not weigh a ton if that's the case. Whereas somebody who has a longer torso, say somebody who's also 6'1", but they've got 2 or 3 extra inches of torso, versus I have 2 or 3 extra inches of upper and lower leg calf, the person's probably going to weigh more than me. Or like, and some people look like they don't weigh that much, but they're actually like 220 or something, you know. So, anyways, for me, right now, given the amount of muscle I have, I think 195 would be a good weight, and I was at 201 today, so I just keep the cheesies, man. The cheesies, they get me. But yeah, this is the physique. We do it back. Maybe. Oh, I don't know how to flex properly at all, but whatever. Not really a bodybuilder. Just a guy who likes to train in his arms. But it's kind of roughly what I'm looking like. Next video will be in a different gym, and hopefully there'll be more training footage. And we're just going to be banging at it again, trying to carve out that last quarter inch, get to that 18 mark. It's been quite a journey, and we're getting close. And I feel like I'm making gains. Like when I was in there today, and with a pump, it's always deceiving, but generally, I think the last month, 2 months, I've made gains in my legs, my upper body, my chest, my shoulders, my back, and the arms a little bit. So I'm quite happy with that, because when you get stuck in a plateau, it fucking sucks, man. And you're just in there trying to progress, putting in all the work, and you're not getting anywhere. But I tell you, if you stick in it with those plateaus, you don't give up, and you're willing to think outside of the box and try new things and keep experimenting, eventually you will find little things that break through. But if you lose your consistency, you have no chance. And if you aren't willing to try something different and experiment and push yourself further and further and further, then you're also going to be stuck. So those are kind of the 2 main things I've found, is you just have to have that consistency. If you're on and off, you're not going to have any chance of busting through those plateaus as you get further and further into your lifting career. And then if you just keep doing the same shit and you don't like push yourself harder mentally or try different things, start thinking outside the box and just experimenting, then you're also going to stay stuck in a plateau doing what's optimal, which is useful to a point, but you're going to end up in a plateau if you aren't willing to experiment and just try some different shit, man, and just start throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a few days.